Hello, and welcome back to Encounter Proposal, the podcast where two friends make a hypothetical tabletop one misstep at a time. As always, I'm your Game Master Kyle, joined of course by our very own Critical Failure.
Hey, it's Will.
Welcome back to episode 5.
Yeah. Um, how are you today, man? You right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. How about you? How have you been this week?
I've been all right. Yeah, not too bad. Trying to
Good.
look for more tabletops to have a look at. It's been nice.
I I've looked at more tabletops. I I don't know if I regret looking at them, but oh
What's the
my
amenity?
god, why do I know that it's fun to roll lots of dice, but so I've been reading the Star Wars RPG, the Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars RPG, which already doesn't narrow it down because they decided that they were going to split their core game into 3 games, obviously.
Of course.
So,
Star Wars famously has a great grip of its IP. So
yeah, it makes so much sense. It's
yeah,
so straight. I don't know if you know that they've split their one system into 3 different core rulebooks that are the same.
they're the same rules.
It's the same system 3 times, except one of them is rules for um being in the rebellion or being a part of the Empire. One of them is being Jedi and Sith, and then one of them is being like rebels and scoundrels. Those are 3 different books.
What if you want one of each on the team?
3 books. Buy 3 books. Buy 3 core £40 rule books.
I, but I'd want one of
Yeah.
each on the team. Like, oh,
No.
I think most people would
Do you want to spend £120 to get them?
actively never.
No, which I feel bad.
I vouch
Um,
now that our game will not cost £120 in order for you to play as a character that's a thief and a character that has magic at the same time.
yes, like it's the thing putting me off Root, honestly, is that it's got like it was a board game first, so they have expansion mentality, and so I see a game with expansions. I'm like, oh, I don't have the full game when I have the game.
I'm
But
sure that you saying that you've been put off route is very funny to the Australians.
what does that
I'm not
mean?
going to tell you now.
Oh, oh, I'm gonna have to have a sad Google afterwards.
Very
Um,
sad Google in the safe search menu.
oh no, God. But the Star Wars RPG,
Yes.
they'll come up on screen, but the
Okay.
dice for this game. Oh my God, let me get you the dice for this game.
I like
This
dice.
is
I'll be on board.
most of the time you would like dice.
I like seeing numbers on surfaces.
So if you just look in the Discord, there you go. There's the dice this game uses.
Um, Kai, where are the numbers on the surface?
Yeah, one of the big differences from these dice to normal dice, there's no numbers. This is not a numbers game. So the way that this works, is that your character has right. I'm going to do like an example skill check. So say your character, right? You've got 6 skills. You got strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
Right.
Is that right? I
I'm
think I'm
imagining
reading.
that, even if it's wrong. It's in
Okay,
my brain
yeah.
now.
I believe that's it. So you can have numbers from 1 to 6 in each of those skills. 6 is your highest. I think it's 2 is the lowest you can have.
Right. So that's
Um,
not 1 to 6, is it?
no, right. Already. Aren't you glad that we're in charge of making this tabletop?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you've got your 2 to 6, and those are your characteristics. They call them in this. Say for example, you wanted to use your brawn ability, which is just strength, and You have a 3 in brawn. The green dice that you see in that weird mess pool of dice, you take 3 of those. Now, say for example, you
I'm already
were
gonna need a lie down and a hot
so,
beverage.
so you've picked up 3 dice to roll your athletics brawn check. So if you are proficient in the athletics skill, you can then swap out that one of those green dice if you're 1 proficient with a yellow proficiency dice.
Okay, is that's the
Here's
one
where
with
I
Elton
get
John's glasses on it, right?
That's the one with Elton John's glasses on it, or Bootsy Collins, depending on how on how out of touch you are. So, then here's where it gets interesting. So you're about to make your check. Your DM says, "Nay, nay,
Oh,
difficulty
thanks, that
time."
soldier boy. Sorry.
the the DM picks up uh, a certain amount of purple dice that they
uh,
deem
okay.
are the difficulty the difficulty for this check.
Yep.
You might think, "Oh, I'm ready to roll."
Yep.
Nay,
I
nay.
do. I do believe I am. I have 12
Say,
dice in my hands.
say you have a friend who is like, "I would like to help you." Then you can add the blue d6, which is called a boost dice.
Uh huh.
And then
When am I Star Wars?
and then you might find that this is a particularly challenging roll, so they can also add the red d12 instead of one of those purple dice to increase the challenge.
Yeah, but what am I adding? Because they're not numbers, Kyle.
And then you also may find that a particular certain aspect of the area around you is setting you back in a certain way. And then you pick up the black dice as well. And finally, you can make that athletics check, rolling all of these dice, and you add up all the. No, you don't. There's no numbers on them.
You add
You
up the
you have
fucking
to
hieroglyphs.
you reference the key where all the symbols add up, and now this
Uh-huh.
might be a little bit ignorant of me, but I didn't get past the pick up all of the dice in the dice pack and throw them at the table. I, there is not a dice except for the force dice, which is a d12 with dots on it, that is left on this table. Now, I will say, I do like the force dice as an ability. Everybody at the beginning of a session rolls a force dice, and you get a certain amount of points due to that like force die. I believe I haven't played it. I've
Is that how
watched
much
someone
the
play it.
force is with you?
Yes, but if it's like a white circle, it's like a point that you get. It's kind of like having a it's kind of like having an inspiration. You can choose to push an ability using the force to change it from a fail to a save, but then that point turns into a dark side point that the DM can use to force one of your successes into a fail.
Oh, that's cool.
So the more that you use it, the more that the DM gets that they can use, and then when the DM uses it, it comes back to you.
I know that in I think it's Dragonbane, you can push a roll, but you have to pick an ability of yours, and that ability gets debuffed until your next long rest. I think that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's quite fun. I quite like that.
So then you're like worse at strength because you pushed it and you threw your back out.
I'd struggle to like roleplay that for everything. I guess you wouldn't do it very often, right?
I guess. You raise a good point of like I don't know how you're like I would like to push my role and now I'm less charismatic.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems very physical. Every time you talk about Dragonbane, it seems like one person wrote it and one person let it go out and no one was consulted on it. Because it seems like everything is like a forefront thought, you
Is that
know?
because I always talk about it with like venom? Like I want to,
Yes.
like I want to set something on fire. Um,
Yes. Just, I don't know. Yeah, nothing seems like It seems like one person has said something on someone else has gone, yep, yep, yeah, yeah, just send it through.
I feel like that person was like the comic book Deadpool. You know the one where he's got like all of the different voices telling him
Hmm.
what to do because fucking someone went, we should have normal races in Dragonbane. And they were like, okay, yeah, we'll have human and elf, and
Hmm.
we'll have dwarf and halfling. And then they were like, oh, let's send this out. Oh wait, now have you asked Greg? And then Greg like emerges from the shadows and he's like, wolf people. And they're the coolest people you ever see. And you're like, okay,
No!
Greg, yeah, yeah, man. Oh, don't
Send
forget
out
to
now.
hand it to Jerry. And Jerry skips in and he's like, fucking mallards, and give them double the abilities of everyone else and make them angry
No,
and
the
make the
duck
mallards
people aren't.
Daffy the Duck.
The duck people aren't angry, are they? They're not
Yeah,
like grizzled.
they're angry like
Why?
Daffy Duck. They're Daffy
Oh.
Duck. Can be Daffy Duck in that game, royalty free.
Oh. I don't like that. I was thinking Donald Duck.
No,
Oh.
not Donald, Daffy.
I don't know. I said I wanted to play this when you first brought it up. I'm changing my mind now.
When you level up, you answer at the end of a session. You get asked a bunch of questions, and depending how well
Hmm.
you do on those questions, you get points, and you get to for each of those points you get to go. I want to put that point into strength, please. I want to put that into intelligence, and then you
So
roll a d20,
it's
right?
like a game show.
Yeah, if you roll a d20, and if that
Hmm.
d20 is above your current stat in that one that you've chosen, it goes up by one. That's how you level up.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, and I believe the DM gets to choose the questions.
What? So, do they
Do
have
I
to be
look
related?
handsome today?
Yeah. Do they? This game sounds insane.
What is
I
your
don't know who.
mother's maiden name? Do you want to up your strength score or not?
Yeah, I don't know if I can play this system.
Yeah, no, I don't want to, man. I don't want to run it.
That was the one you chose as well from that.
It had a mallard on the front. I was like, ooh, mallard. I bet this has a
I,
bunch of fun animal characters. No, just the two.
no, just two and the rest are grizzled veterans.
Yep, and
That's
those
a
two are
choice.
mallard and wolfman.
That's such a That's an interesting way of doing that. Not how I would have done it.
I just want
Me
to say,
personally.
if you do enjoy Dragonbane out there, that's fine. Fuck off.
So,
Don't talk to
sorry.
me. Stay away from
I.
me. 30 feet, please. I don't want whatever you have.
Stay away from me. I don't, is it really that like
It's not that bad.
it's not that bad, but it's like it's not a system I'd want to. I've never like I don't know if it's just because I do research before I buy games, but I've never read I've never like bought a system and then read it and gone, "Oh, that's like horrible," like after I've bought it, you know? I've never like sunk that much
Dragonbane.
into a system. Yeah. I don't. I guess we did both buy Dragon Ball.
Yeah, we did.
Oh God.
We went
Um,
halves, and it's gonna fuck. It's not. It's
it's
fine.
not
It's
any.
fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it's
Cover
very
it
cool.
like
We'll have to give it a
jazz.
one shot, and
We
we can
will.
play the Fallout one where you have like the magic
Fallout Boy.
tokens. No,
Fallout Boy, the ttrpg.
I actually I like the idea of a Fallout RPG because it could be interesting, but the likelihood of it being interesting is concerning when you look at the dice and they are also funky, not numbered dice. There's like a head and a leg dice. I don't
Oh, I kind
know.
of like that actually. Is it like the Surge, where it's like you roll which body part you hit?
I think so. I haven't read as much into this, so I don't really want to like rip on this as much. And also, I know someone else who's playing it that I've been meaning to message about and ask what they think. But this is the dice for that one. There are some numbers. I'll put these up on screen too.
Oh, yeah. You roll, it lands on head. I just like look at you.
Doesn't it? I think I literally described them as Kama Sutra dice. As soon as I
Yeah,
saw them, I was like, "Oh, that's how this system's gonna go."
that this system you have to like bribe the DM. You risk rolling
No,
the Kama Sutra dice.
No, it's his knee and lick. How did this get in here?
How do I do this? I lick the ghoul.
No, horrible. But yeah, maybe we'll play this one. Maybe.
Roll to lick the ghoul. Please don't.
I mean,
Uh,
with how some people play these games.
why are we here again?
Why are we here? We're figuring out the folk hero.
Yes, our main martial class, the folk hero,
Yes,
based on uh, Robin Hood, Prince Charming, Brendan Fraser,
the lumberjack who saves Little Red so I can pull it back from Brendan Fraser.
the mice from the that solve the crimes, the
The mouse.
backyardigans. I don't fucking
The
know.
mo-
So
the
I have a lot of notes on this. I don't
mm-hmm.
know if Carl knows.
I have some. I have a couple. I'm more interested to play off of what you have.
That sounds good. It's a good ego trip for me.
You're welcome.
So, as previously discussed, these sort of classes are in addition to your background classes, which will be discussed at a later episode, and they work on sort of a skill tree system. Was what we were thinking in previous. Obviously, everything's subject to change. Um,
Yeah.
we don't like being predicted, so
No. So we want to
could go anywhere.
constantly change it. That's the best thing. If you listen to these and something makes sense the one episode and we completely talk about it like it doesn't make sense the next, you know that we've changed something behind the scenes.
Yeah,
It,
Kyle might not be called Kyle next week. I might have, behind the
sorry.
scenes, different man. But yeah, so um, I've sort of come up with a list of abilities that the folk hero might have, also in line with the boxes system we discussed last week.
Yes, that's gonna stay. That I
Yeah,
really like as like do we have a proof of concept that I can put up that I can show?
I can make one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There'll
yeah.
be one.
Okay, there will be one here. So yeah, if you
How
look on
prepared
screen,
we roll.
there is a base sort of idea of how the squares are going to work on the sheet where you move your sort of token around each turn.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
some of these things will be passive, so they won't be in the boxes, but some of these things will be things that you can activate by moving to a box.
Yes, and the idea is that you make your own boxes, right? Like you get told this is a certain amount of boxes that you have, and then you create like custom turns for yourself to have each time, right?
Yes, and the boxes can only hold a certain number of points within them. So maybe like a strong punch is 4 points, but a weak punch is 2 points. So you could have two weak punches or one strong punch or whatever. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
So the folk hero, what kind of things are you thinking before I launch into my list?
I remember mentioning that I'd like for them to have a sort of rally where they're kind of like if everybody is stressed, they're supposed to be this sort of face or like the saving face of the group. So they would kind of like rally everybody together and maybe it's like a shout or something that gives everybody like a certain amount of temporary hit points to sort of get everybody back in the fight and sort of keep them going. It kind of like a tank. I'm thinking that they're the person that sort of tries to give courage to everybody else. So maybe the shout is like it's got three options. Like they try and rally everybody together, and either you give everybody a certain amount of hit points, you give everybody advantage on an attack, or any other suggestions for this idea?
I like the temporary hit points. I was sort of like the way I was understanding it is like second wind, which is something a fighter has in D&D, where they can sort of like regain hit points for free once to sort of like regain their footing. But to
Yeah,
everyone else, you give everyone else a second wind.
yeah, kind of. So like inspire everybody and give everybody a bit of courage to get up and keep sort of pushing through the fight. It's kind of your moment to bring everybody together and sort of aid everyone else.
That's a cool idea. Maybe it gets weaker the more frightened you are.
Yeah,
Maybe that's one of the ones that goes down as you get frightened.
yeah, that could work. I was gonna say because we want like a sliding system, don't we? I read a bit more of the Avatar RPG, and I think something like this could be quite interesting. So they have certain classes have a like sliding balance system, and you have two different like points that are like pillars of your character. So say you had like motivation and temptation. So, say for example, you were like a rogue, and your motivation is to kind of like Robin Hood, try and help other people around you, but maybe temptation is like keeping some of that for yourself.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool. I like that.
so they're both on either sides, and there's like zero in the center, and then you pick one to be the top bar and one to be the bottom, and you get a +1 in like whatever skill that like temptation and motivation is. So whichever way you go, you get +1 in one and -1 in the other. Does that make sense?
Kind of. I like the idea. I think that makes sense if it's like clear boundaries are set.
Yeah, so it's like a sliding. I'll send you the thing for it, but it's a very interesting like sliding system that I think is really interesting.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. So they've got this like rallying cry that they can do, or like a speech, like Star-Lord in the Guardians of the Galaxy video game.
Yes, yeah, I'm exactly thinking like that.
That's pretty cool. I like that idea.
I think that could be really interesting. I guess that the like sliding thing I'm talking about right now is more specifically for the fear system, so I think maybe we'll discuss that at a later date.
Yeah, yeah, sure. That makes sense.
But yeah, I think that rally could be really interesting. Do you have any ideas for like what other things that shout could do?
Um, maybe you could do one that's more of a like aggressive one to the enemy. Like it's like maybe once you level up, your ability to rally your team scares the opponents. So it's
Ooh, I like that.
not not at its like base level, but maybe like a higher level folk hero's ability to rally their team scares off enemies of like low intelligence or maybe even high intelligence, like an understanding of what's about to happen.
I like that. I think that's really fun.
I think that would
I think
work.
that'd be a really interesting thing. It'd be very. I think it really speaks to like how you'd play, and I think that something like that would really. It'd be exciting to do something like that to like have an AOE and like scare everybody in like a certain area, because I don't think that you often get AOE stuff as like a melee, and I think that you should be frightening and have like a presence on the battlefield that is more than just I smack someone hard.
But there's also the encouragement there to to use this ability that's a support ability.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And even just to level it up because you're like, oh shit, I don't actually care about other people. I would like to hurt things. I want
Yeah,
this level up.
maybe they're like the subclasses that we talked about. Then maybe like one of them is like some people like playing like the mother of the group. Maybe that's like the healing tank who like sort of shouts and gives everybody that sort of buff, and then one of them is like a buff tank where they give everybody the advantage, and then the other one is like a frightening presence
I really like
tank where
that.
you're like, I think that'd be really fun.
That's really cool. Right. Shall I start going through my
Please, yeah.
my list?
What
So
what what are your thoughts?
mine are organized in terms of like at what level you'd start getting them.
Okay.
So like once you pick folk hero, which we've said we
Mhm.
you don't want to do at the start of the game, you pick this, you get this class throughout play. Like
Yes,
this isn't
yeah.
your first class.
Mhm.
Um, your first class is your background, and then you get these ones. So at start, it would be an ability I've called Leader,
Okay.
which is if you've rolled the highest initiative, you get advantage on your first attack,
Ooh, I like that a lot. Yeah.
which is just like a simple passive, um, which I think is quite useful. And then the other one you'd get is a signature weapon, so you get to pick a +1 weapon, add it to your inventory. You get to name it, and you get an extra attack with it.
Ooh, I really like that. We did mention before, I don't know if we want to go back on it, having a baked in initiative count.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe leader works differently.
Yeah, I think it should still be like maybe it's like if you're first in the initiative count
Yeah,
because it's like likely that you are.
yeah, and it's just against enemies as if you're not.
Yeah.
That could
Yeah.
work. And then and then at level up, I've got that you like choose between these three things next.
Okay.
So obviously you can, because it's like a skill tree. You can go back and get the other two, if that makes sense.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So these are honor, which is +1 to mental, so any sort of logic or getting your mind read or whatever, a day until you lie. Resets daily.
What is that? What do you mean?
So you get a +1 to your mental stat. I think we
Hmm.
said, was it mental, physical, and fantastical?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get +1 to that until your character lies, and then at the end of the day it resets because you're an honorable character.
Ah. Okay.
So
Okay.
you are advantaged by not deceiving other people, by not um, robbing them and playing tricks and stuff. But if you do,
Hmm.
it's not the end of the world. You just lose that
You
like
lose that
intelligence for the day.
bonus.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
rattles you
That's.
slightly. You're not good at it.
I love that. Yeah.
So that's honor, and then bravery is
Mhm.
take your strength dice away from your fear once a day.
Ooh, that's fun.
So you just sort of once a day you roll whatever. It's probably a D8 if you're a folk hero, which is your highest one.
Mhm.
You roll that, take the number away from your fear, which I think
Yeah.
could be interesting. And then the other
I
one
think
was
that's really interesting.
inspire, which I think sounds like the rally one. Roll your strength dice, add it to all allies' next rolls.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. Maybe that's a part of that, like that shout.
Maybe that's the base one, and then when you pick a pick a subclass, you get the extra ability to it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, cool. So that was those, and
Mhm.
then above that, I had honor 2, which is +2 to your mental until you lie.
Okay.
So it's not you're not losing anything when you lie. You're gaining something when you don't. Um, was the idea, and
I really
then
like that.
empowered taunt. When you taunt, get +2 to your AC. So taunting is when you encourage all the enemies to only attack you,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I
it
know we mentioned that being like a base, like
yeah
action. Yeah.
yeah it will be in one of your squares by
Mhm.
default. You can put taunt in one of them, and it would just be that when you taunt, you get increased AC. You're encouraged to be the tank, um, which I think makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect shot was an idea I had.
Okay.
Um, Pick an attack ability in your leftmost box. It will always hit.
Ooh.
So basically, it's like having a really high. Basically, like you can't miss with that attack, which I think is fine. It sounds really strong, but obviously you can't do it 2 times in a row.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. 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 So it's not like consistent, and sometimes you don't always need. Yeah. No. Absolutely.
yeah,
I see what you mean.
there are spells that always hit. There are enemies that like hitting them, like wolves. You're probably always going to hit them anyway. That kind of thing. But it
Yes. Yeah.
still feels really strong. It's something that your character is good at. You're like the Robin Hood or whatever.
Yeah, because missing sometimes makes sense, but sometimes it's like you're right in front of them and you have a big axe. Are they really moving that much?
Yeah, exactly. Or even if it's just like you're in the back and you're a perfect shot, or you're up front
Yeah.
and you're terrifying,
Hmm.
this is the thing you're good at. So, you know. Um, Final thing at that level was Merry Men, which I had was basically just calm emotions. So you can make everyone in an area civil. If they're already civil, you can make them jolly.
Okay.
And it would just be a like an action you can take out of combat
Hmm.
that just gives them this ability to make an area less hostile.
That's quite fun. Yeah, just sort of like lower tensions sort of thing. That's quite fun.
Yeah, I thought it made sense because as a folk hero, you're kind of like renowned as a nice guy.
Yes, yeah. You've got like an aura that sort of eases everyone around you. That's quite fun. I like that.
Because I also thought that like folk hero is probably the one that bard players are going to want to play.
Yeah, I was thinking similar.
This is our like bard mixed with fighter. This is the guy. So
Yes,
um,
yeah. I think I've come in with some tank abilities, but I don't know.
I'm
What do you
fully on
think?
board. I think that it makes sense that they have the tank abilities. I think tank abilities are going to go across all. Again, we wanted support to go kind of across all, but there will be those
That's true,
support
yeah.
classes, those um, buffs to different things. I feel like that works. Um, I did want to say that I think that level three, so like third level on this tree, not level three as the character,
Oh, okay, yeah.
is where I've put subclasses, but I've also put this is where you can choose to take multi attack,
Okay,
which is to use a box twice in a row.
that is quite fun. But then do you have to stop using it for one turn? Do you not use it for two turns?
Um, I reckon you just run through it twice and then move on to the next one. Or do you
Yeah.
want to make it like hampered? What do you
I
think?
I guess how many times can you use multi-attack?
I had it that it would go on a box.
Ah, okay, so you'd still have to move off of it
Yeah,
afterwards.
you'd grant a
Okay,
box
cool.
multi attack, and that box,
Uh,
then everything in that box happens twice. So you move twice the distance. You like it's quite a lot, but like you pick the box yourself. But if
yeah,
you,
I
yeah,
like that.
because I know that they give the perfect attack to the leftmost box, so we could even make it that you can only give multi strike to your middle box or whatever.
Mm.
We can lock things and balance that way. We'll see how it feels. Because if you didn't want to have it that you can just like double up perfect strike, which is
Ye-
fair.
that's true. Yeah.
And I only got as far as naming the subclasses.
Okay.
And I think, as you said, you wanted like the mothery support one, and then a scary one, and then
Yeah.
neutral.
Hmm.
So I wrote down knight, lumberjack, and rebel
I think all of those work.
because those are those were words we said out loud when we described it in the podcast classes in session. That's the three words that we said in our discussion that I thought could be subclasses.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think yeah, they work like exactly to what we want. I think they sort of encapsulate everything that we want this class to be, and I think it's enough difference for people to sort of funnel ideas through and still have them be unique.
Because you said a lot about them having kind of like ranger powers, like knowledge of the area.
Yeah, I would quite like that, but I don't know if that's more suited to someone else now. I don't know if we're funneling too much into one.
I think you could give that to the lumberjack, have like that woodsman, and
Yes,
then
yeah.
because knowledge of the woods, I feel like you could we could also give like a lighter version of that to a race and to a background.
That's very true, yeah.
Because I think that like the elk folk or the ents would probably have a good knowledge of the wood. Like if we give every race an environment that it's good at,
That'd be really fun, yeah. Yeah,
then
I think that helps like build out. where people are from too.
Yeah, so like the lizard folk, as we spoke of before, which I don't think are on the list that I've written. I have to
Are they
append
not?
that. But lizard
I think
folk,
we're.
we said were from like the desert.
Yes, yeah, we did mention that because I remember we were unsure of how they would be in the system as it was.
Yeah, so they'd know about that. Ents would know about the woods, that kind of thing. I
Mhm.
think that's where we get that, and then this would be like tracking, which also I think that the pig people should be good at.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think they should be good at finding truffles.
Yeah, I think that's really fun. I think there should be something for cities. I think this is just a tiny gripe that I have with fifth edition. No ranger is good at the city. No, none of them are like urban explorers. No one's good at running around in a city, and I don't know why.
Hmm, you are
So
right.
I think, yeah, like I
I
think
I
like
don't know
no
how
one
much
gets bonuses
cities
there.
are going to come up, but villages are definitely. I think the villager trait even could just be like because we had townspeople as a background. It's just like you're proficient at knowing where things are in towns.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
You know where the nearest fresh water probably is in a town, whereas an ent is like I don't know what a fucking hospital looks like, but I could find running water with a dowsing rod.
Yeah,
Maybe ents are dowsing rods.
that'd be really fun.
They can naturally just like find the water. I kind of want to do that. Knock that down. Write that down.
I really like that. Yeah, I'll write that down now.
You just have to follow an ent as he like sticks his two fingers out to be like, "Trust me, bro. I got this. Water's this way. I promise."
Please trust me. I swear it's here.
And the puppet's just like, "I don't drink." Shut up, puppet.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, so I think those abilities is that enough for before you hit a subclass?
I think so, yeah, because I think it needs to be like interesting, but still like basic enough that it's not too complex. Because I think it can really like yeah, I think a base class without its subclass should be simple.
Yeah, it should. These are the like understandable basics. This is how you
Mhm.
define the character. Is like they're good at making people calm and they are honorable and brave.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's perfect.
I did want to ask. So, like, we've got this skill tree. So picture a tree.
Hmm.
You get access to the when you're like level one in folk hero. You've got the signature weapon. You've got leader. Then when you're level two, you get access to the next three. Um, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the DM can gift you skill points, and you can spend them on one of those abilities. So maybe
Okay, yeah.
later abilities might cost two skill points, so you have to hoard them. But rather than like, so at the end of the session, you can be like, "Well done, guys, you level up for this session." But if you do a big fight that isn't necessarily huge, it could be like, you get one skill point for that.
That's quite fun. So is it like so the way that I envision it is like you in the center of your sheet on the sort of back where the skills and everything are, you've got yourself in the center and you're at the base of two trees, one going up and one going down. And then is there like a square above you and a square below you, and that's like your level one where it initially
Yes.
branches out. And then there's like eight squares in total on that page,
Yeah.
and they're all eight. Well, I guess eight sticks you to level four. I wasn't sure how many levels we wanted
We'll
to
figure
do.
we'll figure it out. But yeah, basically that. So I was thinking that because in D&D and in a lot of things, you're like, I would like you to go to this creepy house and I'll give you 12 gold for it. And you're like, okay, I guess. I don't know what I use gold for, but okay.
Hmm.
Whereas if you went, can you go do this? You'll get a skill point. you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, absolutely. I think yeah, because I often hit the issue of like I really wanna give you guys something, but it's too much to give you another level up. Does a level up come with
A level up will
X
come
amount
with
like skill points?
that, or it comes with one free pick from that level. Because I think you could then spend the skill points on your background tree as well. So they work on either one. So if you wanted to like focus on one, you could.
Hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, 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 I get you, I get you.
That's just a thought I've had. Um,
No, I like that.
yeah, and also, so we got these subclasses. You got this like one that's to buff other people even more. So that's the mothery one.
Yeah.
Mother Hen, Mother Teresa, Mother of Mothers is mothering. Um, I don't know what we give them that necessarily does that. So like maybe they can do stuff during long rests. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Um. Hmm. I mean, what do you find usually is the most helpful with supports? Like, what is the most like? Because I don't think everybody uses proficiency, but I don't know if that's the issue of it's
Giving you
not well.
something for free. So giving you like um back at like haste is useful. Making you feel like you don't have to like hoard your spells. So if they could like give
Oh,
you a
okay,
spell
so
slot, even though
yeah.
we've removed spell slots, if they could give you, I don't know. I've also written lots of notes for Witch, so I have some ideas for support stuff. Um, but in terms of the folk hero, I don't really know.
Hmm. I don't want them to be a
Community
full
support.
like. What were you saying? Sorry.
Community support. So like
Yeah.
they've got every town they go in, they're like known because they're a folk hero.
Oh, and they've like traveled around and helped people.
Yeah, maybe you get to choose whether you're maybe when you pick knight, you get um, people in high places will respect you. When you pick woodsman, it's like most people respect you. And when you pick rebel, it's like people in the underground respect you, but law don't.
That's quite fun. Yeah.
Like you get to pick your reputation. Maybe that's what we call the subclasses reputation.
Ooh, yeah.
So you're whether you're like a good guy or a bad guy.
Mm.
And maybe knight deals better when they're knights are harder to scare.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Maybe
think that's a good idea.
yeah. Maybe if you're near a knight, you get reduced fear.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
That could be really fun. I think it could be quite strong, but I think it could work.
Yeah, because I was thinking maybe fear can give you like increases in speed and stuff, but I think it should definitely cause you to take more damage.
Ooh, okay.
I think fear should make you take more damage.
Yeah. No, yeah. If you hmm.
I think your character is frightened, your player should be frightened.
Yeah, yeah, it should force you to sort of leave a situation. Well, not force you to leave, but like if
You
you're
get
getting frightened, you should probably leave a situation, yeah.
you get new tricks. I think maybe the folk hero gets like take a risk or something like you're scared into doing it. Because I had for the witch a thought that was like, fuck it, I'll use dark magic. I'm scared. This might be it.
Mm.
I'm gonna tap into something I'm not meant to.
Oh, okay, so you just get like a last ditch, sort of like if you throw away your sort of morals. Maybe that's a thing for the knight then as well. Maybe it's like if the knight gets frightened, one of their like stands is that they like stand their ground and they don't like back down from a fight, and if they're forced to leave, they get like that minus.
Yeah, they feel dishonored. They have to earn it back.
Yeah,
So if you get scared as a knight, you don't get unscared until you've done another good deed.
yeah.
You have to earn it back.
I
Knights
think
get
that
the
could be
debuff that they have to call women maidens and they have to deal with the repercussions.
no.
caught like a predator.
Oh, no, horrible.
Hello, fair lady.
Maiden?
Can I interest you in? Thanks for the gold, maiden.
No. Oh, this horrible character. No, I think it could be quite fun to have them like yeah, like if they've got kind of like what we were saying earlier, like if they've got like a stand where their sort of thing is like you're saying with not lying, and if they don't lie they get bonuses, but like if they lie they potentially get like a negative that they have to sort of fight to get back. It's kind of on that side where like if they stand their ground and they do like take a fight to completion and like win and defend their friends, they get like a bonus. But if they are forced to run away, they do take on like a negative to mm,
What?
maybe
What's the
people here that like where you're like other people respect you, like higher people respect you. Maybe if you lose a fight, people can just sense that you've like broken your moral.
Broken your oath?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the idea that maybe those like stands, as you're calling them, change depending on your subclass, like how you react to them. So, like I said earlier, honor is the one that's that lying one. Maybe if a
Mhm.
rebel lies to authority, it doesn't count. Like it doesn't get the debuff.
Yeah.
Like rebels are allowed to lie to the rich.
Yeah, because it doesn't like affect their duties sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
And then like other ones will get other things. So like the knights will be that fear one and breaking their code. And maybe the lumberjacks will be or like the woodsman could be just like not knowing what to do in normal social situations. Hmm, my
I
tree would
really
never
like
do
that.
this. No, I don't think a tree would do that. It's not a tree.
No,
It's a thing. What are you on about?
makes no
No,
sense at all.
no, this doesn't make sense. Trees don't move, but
Trees
they
can do
are.
that.
They're physically moving. It's happening in front of you.
No.
No, no, don't gaslight me. You're gaslighting me.
Oh no.
You are Gotham
Gaslight
by
for
gaslighting
debuff.
me. You're gas keep gate bossing.
Go keep gas get boss. I don't know.
Man spread, man whore, manslaughter.
No.
That's a
uh
subclass. The subclass is a gaslight girl keep gate boss.
no. We're shutting down. You can tell we recorded
No.
two today.
Yeah, this is our second recording. Is it show?
Oh, does it show? It'll show even more that they were recorded backwards.
Yeah. Carl, you're shattering the illusion.
We're talking backwards this whole
This
time.
whole time. How impressive is that? This is a
Oh my,
reverse of the recording.
oh my god.
It's like My Name Is by Slim Shady.
Oh,
My name is.
you're saying it backwards. I can't.
Wow. Wow. This is. We've reinvented podcasting.
I know, we're really killing it out here.
Kyle
Do you have
watched
any
the
other?
Kyle watched the movie Tenet, and now I have to treat everything like it's the movie Tenet, or he throws a fit.
I get really mad because actually everybody else didn't understand it. I haven't seen it. I haven't
I've
seen the
seen
movie
it. Do you know what the main guy is called?
Tenet.
Yes,
No, no way.
his name is Tenet slash unnamed protagonist. They don't say his name in the fucking movie,
What? How?
and they don't end it by going, "His name is Tenet all along." It's just like that's what they were calling
Oh
him, I guess.
no, he was Tenet.
He was
Tenet in but
David Tennant.
no, it's like oh god, what's that? It's like kind of. This is a vague one. In the FNAF movie, they only
Jesus.
explain who a character is like halfway through, and it's wild.
That's
It's a bad
Freddy.
movie.
That's Freddy.
No,
He's a bear.
they didn't make sense. Why are they in a pizzeria? He's not supposed to take night jobs. Um, no,
Is he a
it's
crook?
dumb.
Is he a criminal? Is that why?
Who? Who?
William Afton.
No, no,
Michael
he's like a
Afton?
no. He works in like a job center, which they also never explain.
Oh, the Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about him?
Why does he work night shifts?
Oh, he has a daughter. No, he has a sister who he's like taking care of, and he doesn't want to work night shifts because he has to take care of her while she sleeps, even though
Right.
he's a babysitter anyway during the
That's the time when
day.
you don't have to look after them.
Mm-hmm.
The
But it's
Sandman's got that covered.
it don't. It's so.
Does she have like night terrors? She spook. I have not watched the movie.
I
Um.
don't recommend it. You can get it very easily for free. Um,
Oh, don't pirate things, kids.
don't pirate things,
But don't
kids.
you wouldn't pirate Agenda, you know?
That's not true. Um, um, anything? Have you had any other notes on tabletops you've played this week to round it off on something other than the FNAF movie?
um, I would say that I've not played many tabletops, but I have been playing a game called Fist, um,
Okay,
which isn't that's not a euphemism. It's the name of FIST. Can't remember what it stands for now.
I'll put an
Um,
image up of it.
you play as a rabbit man with a mechanical fist, but the bio for it on PlayStation Store was a 2.5D diesel punk Metroidvania, um, where you play in a diesel
So
punk
many.
futuristic world against a tyrannical leader. They don't mention that everyone's animals. That's not in the description. You have to just. They
Oh
assume
my
you've looked at the
god!
picture. They assume you've looked at the picture, which I'm sure like
I'm sure
99%
you
of people have.
have.
Yeah, but someone hasn't.
Someone didn't.
There's someone out there who went, the fuck? Why is there a red panda serving me noodles? Why am I a
That is
rabbit?
kind of is kind of dangerous because it's like on some. I've been looking at a lot of like websites that sell tabletop books. I am trying to top up on like other systems so we don't keep referencing 5th edition. There are other tabletops out there. Support your local tabletops. Try
Glass,
something new.
granite, oak wood, beech wood.
No.
I
Um,
went to IKEA the other day. I bought a scub. I love my scub. A
I don't
scub is a
even
guy
know.
that can't.
Oh, for fuck's So, any tabletops that you've shown any interest in?
um, behind the illusion. Oh boy, I want to read Lancer. I wonder what that's like. I have read Lancer. It's very good. Very good. I recommend it.
I want to
There's
play
a
it. I
free
really want to
version
play
of
it.
the PDF, basic rules. It doesn't have the monster manual in it. On itch.io, I
Hmm.
recommend going to look at it.
Hmm.
They have a sort of
I'm sure we're allowed
D&D
to link that.
Beyond. I think so, yeah. There's a D&D Beyond for them as well. It's called CompCon, and it lets you build characters there. You have a mech hangar. If that hasn't sold you, you have a mech hangar. One of the mechs is called
Uh,
Death's Head.
oh, I love it. I really want to play it. That sounds so fun.
I
Uh,
sent one to Soph the other day, our friend, because I was like, "Hey, I'm looking at this mech game." And they were like, "Can I be funny Titanfall man? Do I get to have like a robot that does a simple thing?" And I was like, "There's one called the Horus Minotaur, and its description is a dimension-bending mech that can bend
oh
space around itself and slow and immobilize enemies."
my god.
Because of course it can. So,
I love
Lancer,
that.
I recommend it. Looks sick as hell. All the art is beautiful. Some of it's done by an artist I really like. I don't know his real name, but you can find him on Instagram under Bad Buckets. Sometimes he sells random stuff he finds at charity shops. I recommend following him as well.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. I'll have to follow them up.
Yeah,
Hopefully we will have played something else. I will have definitely have read the rules for something else by next week.
I'll have read the rules for Dune by next week.
Oh
I don't
god.
care. I've not watched the film because I get upset by Timothy Chalamet's face.
God. I will have read something probably more interesting. Oh, then again, Star Trek's on the list.
Star Trek is on the list, yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know. There might be something interesting. Whoopi
Maybe.
Goldberg's immortal in that, right?
I love me a good old grim dark setting, like like Star Trek.
Yeah. It's got,
But
what if, what if the nun from Sister Act was immortal?
it just makes so much sense. Um, but I believe that has been us for this week.
Who's to say? Us. Yes, it has. This
Us,
was meant to be the structured one. Neither of them have been.
we fell apart. But we did our best, and at the end of the day, that's what's important.
Yep. Thank you for listening.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
listening. Bye.
Bye.